Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 48 hours, the second biggest bank in US history has collapsed. So you may see these branches depending on where you live. I don't live near any of these branches, by the way, but here's how the second biggest bank collapsed in US history happened in just 48 hours. Mm-mm-mm. So on Wednesday, Silicon Valley Bank was a well capitalized institution seeking to raise some capital. Within 48 hours, a panic induced by the very venture capital community that SVB had served and nurtured ended the bank's 40-year run. Regulators shuddered. SVB Friday and seized its deposits in the largest U.S. bank failure since 2008, financial crisis and the second largest ever. The company's downward spiral began late Wednesday when it surprised investors with news that it needed to raise $2.25 billion to shore up its balance sheets. What followed was a rapid collapse, and a highly respected bank that had grown alongside its technical clients. So, even now, as the dust begins to settle on the second bank wind down announced this week, members of the VC community are lamenting the role that other investors played in SVB demise. This was a hysteria induced bank run called by VBs, and this is what one of the investors said to CNBC. This is going to go down as one of the ultimate cases of an industry cutting its nose off to spite its face. Now, you remember it's high IQ people running these things, y'all. Just remember that. It's the high IQ that's in charge. So, the episode is the latest fallout from the Federal Reserve's action to stem inflation with its most aggressive rate hike campaign in 4 decades. The ramifications could be far reaching, with concerns that startups may be unable to pay employees in coming days, venture investors may struggle to raise funds, and an already battered sector could face a deeper demise. The roots of SVB collapse stem from dislocation spurred by higher rates as startup clients withdrew deposits to keep their companies afloat in a chilly environment for IPOs and private fundraising. SVB found itself short on capital. It had been forced to sell all of its available for sale bonds at a $1.8 billion loss, the bank said late Wednesday. The sudden need for fresh capital coming on the heels of the collapse of a crypto focused Silvergate Bank sparked another wave of deposit withdrawals Thursday. Wow. The concern a bank run at SVB could pose a threat to startups that couldn't tap into their deposits. So, this is not good. This is not good. You got a bank, and not a small bank, by the way. This is a pretty sizable bank that collapsed. By Friday, as shares of SVB continued to sink, the bank ditched efforts to sell shares, CNBC reported. Instead, it was looking for a buyer. But the flight of deposits made the sale process harder. and that effort failed too. Friday evening, some SVB customers received emails assuring them that it was business as usual at the bank. I'm sure you've heard some buzz about SVB in the markets today, so wanted to reach out to provide some context. One SVB banker wrote to clients, according to a copy obtained by CNBC. It is business as usual at SVB, the banker wrote. Understandably, there may be questions, and I want to make myself available if you have any concerns. All right. So I guess people were more concerned about their money because ultimately this bank collapsed. So at one time, the bank was well capitalized and could make all depositors whole. Wow. He even counseled, so this is the banker, his portfolio companies to keep their funds at SVB as rumors swirled. Now, thanks to the bank run that ended in SVB's seizure, those who remained with SVB face an uncertain timeline for retrieving their money. While the insured deposits are expected to be quickly available, the lion's share of the deposits held by SVB were uninsured, and it is unclear when they will free up. Well, I sure hope none of my subscribers had any money in this bank, but what a tragedy. And it's making big headlines around the country. And wow. Mm-mm-mm. You mean to tell me you high IQ people couldn't save this bank? Then what good is a high IQ if it's not going to work when you need it to work? I'm just saying. But y'all, let me know what you think. This bank collapsed in a 48-hour period. Mm-mm-mm. This must be more out west, because I have never seen these branches around me. So it must be big more towards the West Coast. It could be the Midwest as well, but please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.